I want to talk about New Orleans a little bit, which was you have that dramatic kind of trade, and you talk about being ahead of your time. Before you got hurt that season, 25, 10, and 5 in a season for a big man. Up to that point, you, Barkley, Kareem, and Wilt were the only players that were doing that. Was that the best basketball you think, pound for pound, you had played in your career up to that point?
Ever. And it was more so because I could then be completely who I was as a player. Like, I could flourish in my abilities. And it was crazy because I was emotional, going to New Orleans. And because I felt like I got played for whatever reason. Like, it don't really matter now, but I felt like, especially when it came to the contract situation, when it came to how much I just endured in my early career with trying to make it work in Sacramento, they knew how passionate I was. That's why it was more so heartbreaking for me. But, going to New Orleans, I was kind of pissed. I'm like, why the fuck would you send me to New Orleans with Anthony Davis? Like now I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers really trying to ruin me, because it's like they're trying to dim my light with the guy. AD had a lot of hype. Like, and deservingly so. But it was almost like, and at that time of the trade, it was to where it was like 1A, 1B when it came to me and AD. Like, who was better? Like, so once they traded me down, I'm like, damn, it's like they trying to dim my light too. Like, but I ended up, just kind of having a conversation with myself. It's late after the trade. I'm probably up 4 a.m, just trying to figure this shit out. And I'm like, man, this is like, I've always begged to just play with a talent. Like, I just want a talent on the floor with me that I know is going to bring it every fucking night. And I'm like, I'm sitting here complaining, and it was nice. I'm just praying, like, God, just send me some fucking help, man. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, my prayers finally answered, and I'm now teammates with Anthony Davis, and I'm like, bro, like, just go make this shit work. Like, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit, but you've asked to play with a special talent. It was delivered to you. And it may not have been what I was looking for, but it was still delivered. So I'm like, man, just be grateful for that and go make this shit work. And I've always based my game off being unselfish, which I never really got a lot of credit for with that either. So when it came to like figuring it out, I'm like, man, shit, I'm figuring out his game. I'm seeing his strengths. I'm now combinating to. I'm kind of creating this form in my head of how we gonna make this shit work. Like, how I can still remain myself, allow him to be himself, and vice versa. And we ended up figuring that shit out.
I think you fitting in with AD is kind of the revolution of the big man, because we're like, can two elite big men play together? Because we're not just talking about two, one person jumps, one person's the shot blocker, the more is the skill. Y'all got like 4 or 5 tool belts underneath your belt. Like, playing with AD, did y'all both help revolutionize or evolve the big man position? Because before, you put 2 big dudes down there, one got to play high, one got to play low, and vice versa. Y'all was almost able to, on a nightly basis, change the dichotomy of how the 2 bigs play together on the floor at the center.
Yeah, I do think we played a part in it when it comes to revolutionizing the position. But I'll never be the guy to sit here and try to, I started this. I think we've all taken a bit of everybody's game, of pioneers in the game. Like I said, I've mentioned so many guys that have inspired me as far as how I want to play the game. And, it was a lot of guys doing this type. But like I said, even at their time, the game just didn't embrace bigs being able to play that way. Obviously, when you think of that, Dirk is one of the first names that pop up. Like, it was foreign to see a player, let alone a big, shoot a 1-foot fadeaway. Now you see it every possession in the NBA. Like, it's nothing now. Like,
I would take it a step further, DeMarcus. If there was a time as a big man, if you shot a 1-foot fadeaway, they had a couple of choice words for your ass.
No, you sitting down.
You done.
And it's a soft ass shot. That soft ass shot, like,
Get to the front of the rim. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Booty, 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 boo. So yeah, to that note, it wasn't like Mark Jackson said something, or somebody said something about Mark Jackson and letting Clay and Steph shoot the way they did. They said Mark Jackson was the first coach to allow it.
Yes.
Some coach has to allow the evolution or the new thing to come
Yes.
because before that's a horrible shot. Y'all
And
shooting
that was
from the
going to be my
logo.
next point too about the
Yeah, go
coaching.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I think that's very important because, like I said, if that coach isn't ready to embrace something that he's not accustomed to, or a foreign talent that's never been seen before, it's hard to kind of have that breakthrough or even see or reach your full potential in your game. But luckily, we had a really open-minded coach in Alvin Gentry, and he would embrace it. Like, I'd rather us have free-flowing offense with my two bigs pushing, because if the opposite big is trying to guard me or AD in the open floor, or if we're already getting past them in the open floor with our ability to handle the ball, for the most part, it's going to be a small protecting the rim or a small to finish around. So we like our chances. And, we played a really free-flowing style of basketball. We had two incredible teammates in Rondo and Drew Holiday that also embraced it. That also helps. And obviously you seeing Drew with, winning his second championship now and just his impact with that team. But the biggest thing for me is just his love for embracing doing all the smaller things for the team. Okay, being with the guy that guards the best player every night, being able to play make, also make shots, and he just loves playing defense. Like, so having a guy like that that's super unselfish as well, but also can go run a team. It would be possessions where Drew would get the rebound. He would literally throw the ball to me or AD to bring the ball up. Same thing goes with Rondo. And we don't even have to speak on Rondo because we know how much of a genius he is when it comes to the game and him exploiting mismatches and things of that nature. Like, he's seen plays 10 plays ahead. So he was another guy that embraced, our ability to push the ball, make plays in the open court and things like that. So it was a combination of everybody on that team. But for the most part, it was Alvin Gentry just giving us the green light to go, do the things that we weren't accustomed to seeing from bigs.